Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second panel of the day. We have the Dave Waite Guide to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Well, nobody else turned up to be a panellist with me, which is something of a shame. And there's no audience at all. Oh, that's a lot.
What could you chance us back on?
Space is big! Space is really big! You won't believe how mind-bogglingly big it is! I mean, you may think it's a long way down the road to a chemist, but that's peanuts. That's space! Quite soon this panel is going to settle down and tell you things you actually need to know. Possibly.
Yeah, right.
But first, well, I'm going to introduce the panel.
On your other head,
The panel is absolutely doomed. We can't possibly continue this item. It's finished. After creating the panel destroyed, she wants to get away.
As long as I can just come and drink tea, then I'll come and drink something. I
What
actually
you're
have
going
tea.
to
It's taken me
need-
2 days.
It's the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's a
Oh, okay.
fantastic book.
It's not Google at all.
Press that button.
Don't panic.
I've always seen this. Well,
So what we do?
introduction.
Oh, okay. Have you? Okay.
So I thought I would start by asking the panellists, that would be you, the rest of them, how the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy influenced you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What a kind of chip in.
Oh God, I'm so depressed.
Fire right, go.
I think that it's not only influenced you, but your mum and your sister. So is it something that you've had in your life for your whole life,
Yes.
and you don't remember a time without it?
I think so. I think it actually, for me, I think it actually started without it being specifically Hitchhikers. It was radio plays. Because I was brought up on a heady diet of goon shows and other such fantastically twisted and bizarre audio stories. And my dad said, oh God, you need to listen to this. And he gave me, he'd been recording Radio 4 and gave me a cassette tape, which I made, cassette tapes with Hitchhikers on. And it starts with that, obviously, classic tune. And it's like, oh, that's pretty good. Because I didn't listen to pop music when I was a kid. I listened to what my dad listened to, and it's much better than pop. So yeah, so we listened to that, and then this play just started, and it was like, I have no idea what this is doing, but it's brilliantly funny. So we just kept listening to it, and it was the first six of the Hitchhiker's Guide, and it was brilliant. And obviously, me and my sister both fell in love with that, and I suppose being brought up on a heavy diet of goon shows and Star Trek, it kind of ends you up in places like this.
And I'm sorry, I'll read that again. And I'm sorry, I'll read that again.
Oh yeah. I didn't know. I kind of missed most of those. It was. I don't know. It was a bit hit and miss. It kind of depended. It was. But I really liked the Hitchhiker bit of it because it had that kind of unexpectedness to it, and it was a bit strange. It was a bit funny. It was a bit everything, but you had this really sensible guy in the middle of it. It was just kind of like, I just want a cup of tea. And it just kind of, I liked the way it just kind of organically moved. And that's why the panel thing was like, just
going to be you talking.
I'm with you. My sister introduced it to me on Radio 4, I think the second time round. She called it the first time round. And that was when I met radio. Really, and that in turn took me on to things like Earth Search, and also to the comedy end of things. So I'm sorry, I can include and satire like Weekending. So it kind of went in 4 different directions from there, all because I started from that one.
It's great, isn't it? It just kind of opens a Pandora's box.
But I came in at episode 5, which started the story so far, which is a lovely place to start. And then my parents wanted the jokes, and simply couldn't get the joke out of the lunch. This is like 11 o'clock at night, so I'm thinking of other things. That's great. Chap over there had his finger up the table.
It was, I found books and the radio. My dad was as much a geek as I am. My dad was as much a collector as I am, and anything that was in his collection when I was anywhere between the ages of 3 and 8 was just the ultimate treasure of the entire world. And it included cassettes recorded off the radio players, pre-recorded ones in the box that hadn't been opened, and the books as far as they went at that point. And yeah, I wanted to read it, and Dad was reading. He was like, not quite there yet. It's 4.
Yeah.
So a couple of years. No, I was already on myself at that point, but I just was a bit beyond me. And
It's a bit beyond me still, actually. It's really weird. It's a funny read. I think I really love it as a radio play. As a book, it's good. As a film and things, it kind of works. But there's something about having it as a radio play that
see, I'm
just...
different from me, but
The definitive book is this one, by the way.
Yes.
Not the rest, it's this one.
Yes.
I think at this point, Ford, I'm clearly going to be Ford, I've been captured by the Vogue.
Can I say one last thing first? Sorry. It actually hit me that much that I had to basically permanently mark myself to the Hitchhikers back to the gun. I actually have Hitchhikers.
Go on, like, as long as it's, you know, it's not somewhere, you know. Yay!
Well, come up here and show people, for goodness sake. Well, I hope you find something.
I thought that I'll done by. I was in my 20s before I discovered it. Because my parents just didn't do that sort of thing. And I was a real oddball of the family. I liked this sort of thing.
Oh, right, so we've been captured.
How many people have actually discovered in their working life a cup of something that makes something almost entirely, but not quite unlike
I think the tea in the restaurant here.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask a poet to come out. Dawn, come out. So Dawn's going to play the Vogue on guard. No, the captain. I'm not going to read it. We're going to read it.
Or join in.
I would tend to interpret as I imagine a Vogel would, as in badly. Oh! Freckled Rose Bugley! Thy mitigation, thou to me, as girdle glad lockship. It doesn't nerve it be. Group I am anointing my fronting, turning gold, and viciously wrangle me with crinkle vital wordles, but otherwise, I'm bending the gobble, see if I don't. With my global truncheon. Ah.
You get a blooming stare. Yes. I want to talk about how I was influenced by Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, because I ended up doing things in theatre. Dawn introduced me to amateur theatre. But in fact, I can trace my interest back to the Theatre Fluid production of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is the next bit, really. I was going to get Kevin to do this for me, but I have to ask Barry. Barry, do you mind being the Vogue on guard?
Oh, hang on a minute, I've got to reframe this, otherwise I'll end up in an unpredictable bloody mess.
Oh, well, could somebody else take over the camera?
No, I've already done it. As long as I stand here, I'm okay.
No, I'm going to ruin your framing no end.
You bastard.
Okay.
Right. Because there was a moment, I thought Theatre Fluid production, and it really pointed out to me what you can do with the stage. It did extraordinary things. And the Vogue on Guard, in the TV series played by Michael Cool, I've appeared on stage with Michael Cool, as indeed other people in this audience.
Role played by Cool.
Yes, indeed. And the Vogon Guard, after the poetry, and he liked it, didn't he, the poetry? I thought it was metaphysical, grabbed hold of Arthur and Ford and took them along the corridor, and they did this by taking them through the audience. Do you mind grabbing us and taking us through the audience? And it went like this. Both of us. And sorry, resistance is useless. And then they took us along the back row. No, not the back row, the middle row. Resistance is useless. And the entire, and then he stopped about here to do the resistance is useless. That's it. Yes. And they happened to choose the row we were sitting in, myself and two schoolmates on the school. Young yellow. And my mate, you'll have to play my mate, Simon. Every actor stepped on his toe. I got punched in the Goonies, apparently, as I recall. They stopped to do a bit here. And then they carried on, come on, carry on. With some more, resistance is useless. And then back down to the stage, which hadn't been reset because they didn't have any set. And I thought that was extraordinary. Thank you very much, guard. Don't do it again.
Cheers.
It was amazing that they brought to life so much of that radio series that really the BBC budgets failed to do in the TV series, really, with just odd bits of pieces. I mean, the next scene, I suppose, is the Heart of Gold being attacked by missiles, and they did that by having Zaphod and Ford on deck chairs in the middle of the stage, doing this with the deck chairs. And it was incredibly frightening, because at any moment they were going to collapse and rip their fingers off. It really gave it an edge of excitement. And you were really into that scene. It was wonderful. And they were just, deck chairs. It was amazing. And there was a bloke playing Ford, playing Zaphod, obviously had a second head. Didn't do a lot. But there was one moment where they were all shocked. One of the best bits of breaking the fourth wall, actually, and they were all lined up to be shocked by something. And they all did that as it went back. And it finally ends with Zaphod's sort of spare head, which looks at the audience and goes, they articulated the man. But it only did that. That's the only thing he did in the whole show. So that was, for me, brilliant.
Not a question. Not a question, but just an observation. You were talking about Zaphod's spare head. And I think one of my earliest recollections of Hitchhikers, which isn't actually Hitchhikers itself as a piece in any format, is that when they did the TV adaptation, Zaphod's head being sophisticated enough that Tomorrow's World presented it as a prop and talked about how it worked. So I think the TV adaptation was such a big deal at that time that it warranted the technology being so sophisticated that Maggie Philbin could talk about it.
It was amazing on Tomorrow's World. I remember seeing it. It was stunningly good. Come the series, it was brilliant in rehearsals, but the batteries flagged. So when they actually came to film it, they weren't allowed to change the batteries. It just looked like a bit rubbish, really. Wasn't happy production, I believe. I've been reading Neil Gaiman's Don't Panic, which I finished at the convention. This is my research. And they talk about the TV series, and Doug Sullivan said he didn't really get on with the producer Alan Bell, I think it was. And neither did the actors get on with Alan Bell. Neither did the teenager get on with Alan Bell.
Can you talk up a little bit?
Oh, sorry, yes.
There were also issues because they were filming, weren't they, at the same time as the technicians' strike, and at least the filming of one episode was so close to the wire that they finished filming 30 seconds, I think it was, before they turned the electric to the studio off, and that was it.
There's a scene where Ford and Arthur run away from the Vogon Guard, and that is a shot of them running to their positions on the stage to start shooting before they switch the lights out. Not actually them acting. So I want to read you something. Talk amongst yourselves while I find it. I know it's on page 9. I'm never going to say that again.
You're Armadacon.
on maybe no.
Right, this is from the radio scripts, but it's Geoffrey Perkins who's the producer of the radio series writing. The first time that we realised the show might not. The first time that we realised the show might not just be different, but also successful, was probably when a letter managed to find its way to my office, addressed simply to Megadodo Publications, Megadodo House, Ursa Minor. Now, if the British Post Office knew about the show, then we really must be onto something. I would like to point out that that letter was written by me! It was me! I wrote a letter, I put a penny in saying, could you please send it back in time? And so forth, but I stuck a penny on it. So really that brings me on to the next section, which I shall now ask the panel. How you have influenced the Hitchhiker's Guide, as I have done, obviously. Or indeed anybody else of yours?
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if I have had such an impact as that, other than by proxy. Well, yes, the dressing gown did, by proxy from my family and stuff. They managed to. It nearly got stolen by the actual Armadacon and taken on tour to finish the stage play tour.
So you could have influenced the stage tour of Hitchhiker's Guide, but you didn't. You decided not to.
Yes.
Is it a case of you influencing Hitchhikers or Hitchhikers influencing you?
Yeah, exactly. I think there's more of them influencing us.
So I mean, I went to see that.
Lots of things about it's particularly know where your towel is and don't panic and 42
so
comes up.
It's very quotable.
Regularly in our family, just as a throwaway comment that we all understand. And I think it's almost another language that quite a lot of people do. I put up a picture of me in costume yesterday, saying randomly cosplaying in my pajamas and raising money for St. Luke's. And at least 3 of my friends who aren't into this kind of genre or whatever started making bourbon poetry jokes at me. And it's like, people know it.
Yeah.
It's even if it's not something
They really like you.
Yeah.
Lady at the front.
I think it's more that the Hitchhikers have influenced everybody of multiple generations and will do for many years to come. Because only yesterday, waiting in the queue to go for our appointed time to eat, I said, do you realise this is a reverse excusal? Everybody in my party knew exactly what I was talking about.
It's a sub-genre, isn't it? And we're all science fiction fans, but we're also fans of all sorts of little bits of it. Not just Hitchhikers and Star Trek and so forth. I mean, I do remember seeing the very stage show where they recreated it going around the country. And we walked in and kept meeting friends who'd not seen for years. Oh, hello, etc. And we all sat down and it was fantastic to sort of relive it all. I had new bits in because they'd taken stuff from the next sort of series and so forth. And then afterwards we got together and said, oh, this is brilliant, it's fantastic. Pity about the dressing gown. Wasn't quite as good as I was.
I do remember when we saw it. I only saw the recent one, which was what was it, about 5, 6 years ago, something like that, 7 years ago. And there was a bit where I had a proper scream moment because I remember as a kid sitting down and pausing the tape and writing out lyrics to try and work out what all they were. And I was thinking, and they did, and it completely split the audience. And my hubby, Love dearly, is all into all sorts of stuff, but not quite as much Hitchhikers as me. And they put the lyrics up, and it's like, right, everybody, share and enjoy. And the audience was you either knew it or you didn't. And you didn't need the lyrics. There were people that were like, what on earth? And then the rest of it going, share and enjoy, share and enjoy. Don't make your life with a plastic boy or girl by your side, and your man will be your guide. And when it breaks down or starts to annoy or grinds when it moves or gives you no joy, cause it's eaten your hat or had sex with your cat, it's in your wall or it's out your door, you can't stand anymore. Bring it to us, we won't give a fake. We'll tell you, go stick your head in a lake. At that point, Phil's
So you can see the split between true Hitchhiker fans and non-ones on this very panel, can you not? There's something else, just to try to bring it back to me being important. How many people have their towel with them?
Or at least knows where it is.
I know where it is.
How many people observe Towel Day this year?
Yes, who knows Towel Day?
Ryan, signed by the very man himself. It's a shame actually that people go on about towels, because when Doug Simons signed this for me, he pointed out.
He did.
He did, yes, that's signed by Doug Simons. He said to me, I'm going to rewrite the whole of the series, every book, and replace the word towel with a small piece of paper. So we should all be knowing where our small piece of paper is. I have it from Doug Simons himself.
He was tired of signing tiles.
Yes.
Yes, but you can't wrap a small piece of paper around your head to protect yourself from the bug last piece of troll.
And it's not very warm when you're going on the, it's called
Big
the
small
route
piece
to
of
Devon,
paper.
isn't it?
You say the mini round?
I showed this to Dawn at the convention when we got here, and she said, that's quite tatty, isn't it? I said, well, I was going to get it signed, I didn't want a good towel in the room.
It looks like it's been
Had
a few
adventures.
hitchhikers.
Yes.
Looks all fancy.
It's an authentic towel.
It's definitely Rooster's Town.
No, that had little stains and beaders with
Patterns,
I didn't
yeah.
want to mention that. You've got bleach.
Oh, sorry, yes, go.
How many people were able to observe Towel Day at work? Because I now work somewhere where I can observe Towel Day at work. Putting
you.
I put the towel in my belt and I walked around with my towel and waiting for people to notice. It was fantastic.
When is Towel Day? I'm not regular.
But it's
It's a monthful, yeah.
It's also the glorious 25th.
That's the Blackberry Project Day.
Yeah.
It's
It's
only
only
1977.
It's also my sister's birthday. Which works out quite well because she's a huge, because obviously of this, a massive Pratchett fan, and yeah, so it all just happens to fall on her birthday as well. So I have zero chance of forgetting ever. Yes, because she makes sure I remember.
Well, she tried that one, didn't she?
She did.
Because you can practice on May the 4th, but we know that's not really the first Star Wars.
All we need is a rabbit towel.
Where are we up to? Oh, God, no, question over there.
Another question. I may have actually influenced Hitchhiker's Guide in a very small way.
Excellent.
1990, I think it was 91, sitting in McDonald's wearing a disaster area sundial t-shirt. An American family sitting opposite sort of started saying nice things about t-shirt, and I started to explain a sort of real band. It turns out they're fans of Hitchhikers. And to this day, I'm not sure whether they listened to it on cassette sent over or they caught on the radio service, or the world service. But they were making one on t-shirts, so very small influence. Told them about the TV series, which they didn't know about, and told them about the ZZ9 plural Z alpha, and suggested that once the TV series they touched BBC merchandising, and I was able to give them the address of the Appreciation Society, a program of WorldCom, and that's a very small influence of it. I was also able to impress a young Dutch lady with the same t-shirt, but didn't like Hitchhikers, but she liked June, and Arrakis was one of the tour dates.
So you're more a pusher.
Well, I think it just going off. Is there a script? If there is, I'm going off it slightly. Just because it's be interesting to ask this many people, because normally if I find someone to ask this question, they're a bit like, I've never heard of it. Has anybody ever managed to finish the computer game? Do you remember the text game one? That is just impossibly hard. It's like the furthest I've ever got. It's almost to the end, and you're doing the time loop thing, and then I got squashed by a door, and I didn't save, and I had to go back to the beginning, and I was like, no!
It was feed the sandwich to the dog at the beginning, you
Did
cannot
that?
win.
Did that? Gave the cheese sandwich to the dog. He didn't eat the fleet. We went into a time loop. Everything was brilliant. We were almost at the end. I'd gone all the way around all the different things, and then the annoying doors on the ship wouldn't open. When it did open, then decided to close again on me and squashed me and killed me. It's like, you can't kill me. I'm off it dead.
You were cheerful about it then.
It was. It was. The
Cheese
nutriment
sandwich
machines
is what I
and
get
that.
about.
Yeah. You can actually just about do it if you don't do it at the beginning, because you go into this time loop thing towards the end.
Oh.
And when you revisit the pub and you can order a cheese sandwich and give it the dog. But it, oh god.
Oh,
Even just getting out the room at the
forgive the
beginning.
series then, because I thought it was unfair and you couldn't at any point solve it.
No, you end up in this.
But that brings us into all the different forms, doesn't it?
Mm.
The radio series where it started. The collected radio scripts that mentioned to me, clearly it's most important. Then we got the TV series, the record, there was a record, wasn't there? Which was a different recording of it, that changed things for it. The book, the computer game, the books were incredibly successful.
Oh, it's
were they not?
still-
Yes.
The film we don't.
I remember the film. I liked the film.
Round robot isn't miserable.
I think that was most
The original stage play.
The original stage play. Theatre Clued version, wasn't there? Then there was the Rainbow version done by Ken Campbell.
Yeah,
Which
saw
was
that.
successful, and then they remounted it and it's a disaster.
I think the saving feature of the film for a lot of people is the fact that the original Marvin is still in it.
Yes.
Just.
I've read Douglas Adams said that he wanted Marvin to look sleek and futuristic and a really amazing robot that held itself badly and looked depressed. So in an odd way, a film one might be more
Round his jaw, not sleep.
The problem I had was when I heard the radio series, I didn't even think of Marvin as being bipedal. For some reason, the movement noise, I was picturing as a completely different form.
maybe better on wheels, wouldn't it, or something, yeah.
Yeah, or even 3 or more legs in a piston kind of way. There was just something about it that when I saw the television one, I thought, well, that's wrong. But I couldn't figure out why.
Yeah. I think probably everybody would want to take elements of all of them and make their own perfect one. Because the film, Zaphod Beeblebrox not having 2 heads.
The pictures of your head with the radio show was so much better than the pictures on the TV.
Well, in fairness, the budget
what's
for the
that?
visual
Yeah.
effects was better.
But I think also, to be fair, the film had a better story, it had a better plot. It had a beginning, middle, and end, rather than Douglas Adams. Well, he wrote sort of. I've just been writing his procedure that he used, and he did plot things out, but then something funny would happen when I was writing it. He'd go off on a tangent. So they're all written in this mad way.
I was going to actually say, like, to what extent is he really, I was going to ask the question, to what extent is he really a science fiction writer, or to what extent is he just a stand-up comedian in a different medium, and to what extent is he a philosopher?
Yes.
I think he just kind of went with the flow. From what I know about his writing style and things, and it was guided by funny ideas and deadlines.
I want to get.
I think isn't that was that I might be wrong, but the first book ends where it does because of the print deadline.
Yeah.
You know that one?
Yeah.
Because I'm right on that one, aren't I think because it was kind of they
There's
kept
some sort of
pushing and saying we
copyright
have to
thing
go
with-
to print.
with,
We need this now. So I'm not finished it
John
yet.
Boyd.
He's like, finish the page and send me the script. And so they just sent the book and it just stops. And they printed it from there.
There is a copyright issue with John Lloyd, but it's not actually that much of a problem because they were still friends afterwards. If you know, Douglas Adams wrote the first 4 episodes, realised he was in trouble, and got John Lloyd to help him out. So the Hagamilton mutating, that's John Lloyd really. And they had a bit of a wobble in their relationship. I think they remained friends. So I think he could have carried on, but I think Douglas Adams wanted it to be completely his, which is understandable. And John Lloyd in his book says, yes, that's completely understandable. So he did change that bit. But that's not why it ends sort of at the end of episode 4. It is literally that Pan saying, we need it now, and Doug Sanders said, it's not finished. And they said, no, how far have you got? And he said where he was up to, and he was right, we'll send the motorcycle courier around now.
Finish that page. We're coming for it.
We'll have to talk about deadline. I had a joke where I was going to say this panel is ended late, started late. Let's listen to the deadline.
Lovely noise.
Because reading about it, he's incredibly unprofessional. He's doing things. Pan Books, when they were doing the second or third book, I think the third book, knew Doug Sanders was going to be late and factored this in by about 6 months safety margin, and it was still late. Twice they locked him up in a hotel room or a flat somewhere in Devon or something like the coast. And the second time, he had 2 weeks before they had the printing presses booked. 2 weeks. They took him into a hotel, locked him in a hotel room, employed somebody to watch Betamax videos in the next room, and he was allowed out twice to go exercising. They'd chosen a hotel near a park. And for 2 weeks, he was solidly locked in. Now,
They borrowed this hotel room from MI5 or something.
Sorry?
They borrowed the hotel room from MI5.
I don't know. But it can't be the right way to produce your best work.
Well, they had to do the similar thing to him for the Doctor Who story City of Death. Again, they hold him up in a hotel until he jolly well finished it.
Yes, he and the producer went to the hotel room, didn't they?
Yeah.
For a weekend.
Was it just his sneaky way of getting those hotel
Might have been. Yes, there's a story in that about that, and they drank a lot.
Yeah.
And come Monday morning, they had a script. I'm not really sure how it happened.
But it's one of my favourite ones. So.
Could that possibly be one of the reasons why we find Hitchhikers kind of so all-inclusive with all the other things? Because it's not so much maybe influencing us and our choices, but it's influencing all the people that we look to. So it's kind of, Douglas Adams and there's Patrick and there's Gaiman and there's all the Doctor Who stuff. And it's all just, it's part of that web of fandom, really.
This is by Neil Gaiman. One of his very, very first things he wrote, so that's a very good point. This could, Hitchhiker's Guide could be Neil Gaiman's break. Don't panic. As indeed Douglas Adams was influenced by, they say Monty Python, but it's more like go on with other people beforehand. Dave, and then yourself.
Okay, 2 quick things. I think it was Finsbury Park was the theatrical performance. I've got the poster somewhere because it has 2 thumbs on it. I remember that. You may have one as well. But I mentioned to you last night, you were about to stand in front of a bulldozer to stop out. Yeah. The London Town is the first Thursday meeting in London every month. It's been going since the year dot, and it's changed venue. But we were there in the late 70s. I may be wrong there, but it was late 70s. And this chap came to the BBC handing out leaflets saying, can anyone turn up at 10 o'clock next Sunday morning? 10 o'clock on a Sunday morning? Oh, yeah. To the, I think it was the National Film Theatre, or it might have been the Paris Studio in Lower East. I think it was the NFT. And we traipsed in, and there was this very tall chap in the back, who I didn't recognise, you know who he is now. And we heard, we had to sign release forms, and we sat there for the first episode, the first of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Guys, and we didn't know that at the time. And then they didn't use the audience reactions, as you know. And there was no banjo introduction, it was just recording. And the big tall man at the back, of course, was Douglas Adams, and we didn't know that at the time. And all I remember about it was 2 to the power of a 7-digit number. And I don't remember what the 7-digit number was. It's 8-digit numbers now, but that's all I remember. Yes, the phone number.
You're mentioned in this book.
Is it? Yeah, the record. You probably got the date in the record. It's late 70s sometime. I was privileged to be there, but I didn't realise it was a piece of science fiction history I was attending. There was no banjo introduction, and they may have edited it down a bit more later, but it was a dry run, or
They weren't convinced people would realise it was a comedy. It's that terrible laugh track business, isn't it? But you're in the book. We got random people to come and listen to it. They had to put headphones on. And one of them was Dave Lally.
And then the Finsbury Park, we went, and one performance, the chap fell over because he got 2 heads. This brings back so many memories. Anyway, there you are.
I remember Finsbury Park where they actually, I think the book apologised to the audience for it running late, and those who needed to get their train, last train, would need to leave within the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, just a question for the panel. Thinking about where the books end and how they end abruptly and so on. There's a few people that I know, I think, have struggled with the later audio adaptations because they just don't find them as entertaining as the earlier ones. And I wonder whether you think the same thing, or whether it's just a case of people have become so familiar with the first part of the trilogy that they're just kind of now conditioned to enjoy that bit, and the rest of it is harder to get into.
I don't know if it's hard to get into. I know they're not my favourites. They're not the ones I go back to again and again. Whether it's because there's a certain childhoodness of those first three, where, or particularly the first bit, classic one that was on a pre-recorded from the radio. Doggy tape was recorded over something, and there was a little bit missing off the first bit, and then the Radio 4 presenter kicks in over you listened right the way through the credits, and then the last little bit of the jingle, you always got that little snippet at the end where there was like a little joke or something, and one of them, the Radio 4 presenter, talking over it. You know, it wasn't until I was old enough to go out and buy my own copies that I found out what the joke was at the end. And there's something quite comforting about those ones because they are so classic. But the first two or three, I think, for me anyway, are the better ones. And then maybe it's because I'm not a big fan of cricket. There's all the cricket thing that goes on in the later ones. And although I do like this one, idea. But I like the shoe shop intensifier ray thing. With all the Brexit stuff that's going on and the way the high street's going at the moment, it's a bit kind of
Yep.
Mobile phone internet.
There is a case, isn't there? People who like a band, for example, always want the first record that introduces them to that band playing the game. The band's moved on musically, and they usually know the breakthrough record. It's the same, isn't it? We want to listen to Hitchhikers Guide to the Galaxy again when it was fresh. So we want to have our minds wiped and listen to it again. But I think the later ones, the books, he started to do more plotting and things, so it wasn't driven by jokes so much. So I think they're better stories, but they're not what we've got into Hitchhiker's Tour. It became a different thing.
I think it's
of everything, it's written, there's two parts of that from the opposite ends of one's from the very first book, and it's when normality is being restored after they've been picked up on outer space by the one technology. Just the one line, that's not the point. The point is I'm now perfectly safe penguin. My friend feels rapidly running out of wind. That just it branded itself on my brain the first time I read it. But the other bit that just completely spoke to me was right from the other end, mostly harmless. The descriptions of Arthur being the sandwich maker and the process of the sandwich maker. It's so blissfully, peacefully boring at the same time. It's really actually fascinating stuff. I think it might be my favourite piece of television as well. Maybe one of the best. So.
For me, with books and things, it's this lovely, absurd surreality about it. It's like going back to the penguins and the sea staying still and the piers washing in out and whatnot. But then there's little bits in it where you think this is actually really true. I mean, there's that whole sciencey thing where they were proving that 42 is actually a big, deep and meaningful thing in the universe, which was just a number plucked out of the air. But then, the shoe shop intensifier array, where, the country's going down the pan and the high street's going weird, and they're like, there's something in there. And there's the whole, the person that is actually in charge, it's the person that shouldn't actually be in charge, and the people who want to be in charge really shouldn't be in charge. And did he have a time machine? Because, it's all a little bit scarily accurate at times, and yet then you have things about, penguins and
somebody earlier said, was it science fiction, or was it comedy, or was it philosophy?
Yeah.
There's no reason why it can't all be the same thing.
It does feel. I think maybe that's one of the reasons why we like it.
Which I should discuss in my genre talk this afternoon. Chap at the back.
Yes, I was still waiting for the lemon-scented napkins.
Yes.
You haven't had yours yet?
No, sorry.
I want to move on to other things that Douglas Adams wrote, because he clearly was a script editor for Doctor Who, and did 2 stories, one of which was brilliant, City of Death, and then The Pirate Planet, which was not so nice. And Sharda, which of course is infamous because it never appeared. And he also did Dirk Gently, which is The City of Death and Sharda. No, I mean, Dirk Gently, he regurgitated those Doctor Who scripts and was paid £2 million for it. And I'm slightly jealous and envious. So I think he was too successful too early. I think
he got very arrogant.
Yeah.
When I met him at the British Association meeting in Plymouth, Holland, as it was then, he was supposed to be doing an hour-long talk about his latest book, which was Last Chance to See. He was supposed to have a transcript or a copy of the script for the press to examine before the event. He turned up an hour late. There was never anything in the pigeonhole for him, for press or anything like that. So he was very upset that we were going to record his talk and the BBC were going to record his talk. And he just didn't want to talk to anybody. He went in, he did his bit, which it was supposed to be an hour, it lasted about 25 minutes. And basically every other line was done by the book. And he was basically obnoxious to everybody.
Oh.
Well, everybody had a bad day.
Yeah, he was probably having a bad day, but he came across as not a very particularly nice person at the time.
He was somebody who was incredibly successful.
Yeah.
He regularly delivered late.
Yeah.
And that's going to make you feel slightly bulletproof, isn't it?
Yeah.
If every word is genius or sentence genius. I think if he'd not been successful, he would have written more stuff. It would have been more interesting. He was no longer hungry, was he? He was desperate to be a writer.
A lot of people were more interested in the technology, what he was writing on, than what he was actually writing.
And he did waste an awful lot of years in Hollywood rewriting the script. And that seems to be a terrible waste. You could argue it killed it.
Yeah.
Well, no, there was an interview with Anna Ward, and she was friends with her second husband. I think Douglas introduced him to, and she said in an interview, writing was the worst thing he could ever do, because he existed with writing with somebody else, but writing on his own, he used to hate it. He always liked to have a springboard with somebody, and so the fact that he was famous for writing, that wasn't the way he wanted it to be. He wanted to be a performer, like Monty Python's hero to Monty Python, with Graham Chapman as well.
He did have to, because he was tall enough to do it before. After at Hitchhikers, he did want to do something else, performing. And he loved the radio series because he was working with people. And he became somebody who was locked in a hotel room with a typewriter.
Which would explain probably the why he was so late, because he really hated doing it.
So he was a bit obnoxious. He'd been locked in a hotel room. Because I just think, if he hadn't spent that much time in the American Western film script, he might not have had a heart attack. He would be on QI. Stephen Fry, Alan Davis, and Douglas Adams would be a panel. I would. Anything else anybody wants to say, or should we move on to the plot of Arthur Ford? We've been thrown out of the spaceship and things. I don't know. I just realised my notes are actually notes of my own novel here. Why am I referring to them? I don't know.
I have to admit to navigating by them in a Dirk Gently kind of style.
It does work.
It does seem to work.
It does work.
It's, find someone who looks like they know where they're going and follow them.
in London.
It may not get you to where you need to be. No, it may not get you to where you want to be, but it'll get you to where you need to be.
I've liked both television series for Dirk Gently, the British one, although I didn't kind of quite buy it, wasn't mine as Dirk Gently as that. And then there's this American thing, which is
That's really odd.
not Dirk Gently at all, but it's really very, very good.
I don't know how they got the Dirk Gently name attached to it. Because if you take out the name Dirk Gently, drop in any other name, it doesn't change the series at all. It's still this weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's
coincidence.
we subscribed to Netflix recently in order to watch Star Trek Discovery. So we watched Star Trek Discovery and Dirk Gently, both of which were series we knew what we wanted. What we got was not Star Trek and not Dirk Gently, but they're both brilliant. Yes.
Don't you find that everybody has a preconception about this? When you're listening to the radio play specifically, you visualise here the sounds you're hearing and you visualise what they might look like and what that might evolve like and everything. And here, I think is where you then judge what you're seeing on the film or on stage. That's good, right, or that's
It's like if
It
you
comes back to that.
film or
Yeah, does Marvin have wheels?
Yes, exactly. It's here that you're seeing it.
Yeah,
And when
he
it-
always looked a bit more like the robot in the Forbidden Planet, the big pointy brown thing with things coming out of him and big clumbery kind of whatever, and it just looked very it was just, yeah, as a kid I remember I must have seen the robot and I thought, yeah, it looks like that. And these great big lumbering kind of food things. It just fitted, but then everybody would see them differently.
I think so, and I think we all in our own preconceptions, you know, having seen it here in our own way, what's on the screen is close, and it follows the theory, but we're never quite as satisfied as listening to it, doing our own screenplay.
Well,
I'm
say
sorry, no, Bill Nye is slightly quite fast.
Yes.
You think about Zaphod, and you imagine someone with two heads, it kind of works and he moves about fluidly. As soon as you try to realise that on the TV screen, it looks awkward. Well, it is awkward, isn't it? Yeah, the actor's got to do that.
It's getting the third arm.
And I like the radio's reality of it, where it's, you can almost forget that it's there until it's just mentioned, and then it kind of like pops back into your head, and it's like, oh yeah, that was there as well. And then you carry on with the scene.
I mean, the best CGI is the stuff in your head.
Until it's the, what he did, was it, yes, was it the second head and the third arm?
Yeah, exactly. You know, he's just got two arms and everything's fine, and then is it Trillian? It's kind of like move your arm over, and that one, and the other one, and then suddenly it's like, ting, there's another arm, and you're like, what? Well, that has me again. So it's just, and that, it's just being able to play with the joys of that particular genre. It wouldn't work on anything else.
We were talking about that yesterday, weren't we, about how radio can do sound gags. What's your example? This is the legs of the piano.
Oh yeah, the legs on the piano in the Goon Show. With, you can cut off 4 legs on the piano and then Eccles is like, here, I keep falling down. Which you can't do as a joke on any other medium. But then you couldn't do like the same, like the visual gags or the in-jokes and things that you could do on some of the other things. Like the TV or the film, and you can have other jokes that you could probably do writing, but you couldn't do in any of the other ones. I'm just trying to think of an example now. Great.
Context gags in writing. Obviously, I can tell you a fictional character. What? You don't know who's speaking.
I always think that's one of the saddest things when people who've read a book go to see the film and are hugely disappointed it wasn't exactly like the book, or vice versa.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, they can't be,
Yeah.
because it wouldn't work. They have to be different. I'm sorry if that hurts, but you know what? They are different media, they work in a different way, the jokes have to be set up differently.
Yes, the
film Rabbit Drawn Sleds in The Hobbit is taking that too far.
Yeah, there is a limit, but nevertheless, they cannot be a faithful representation.
Yeah, but I do draw the line when you go watch a detective film on TV and you've read the book and you know the way to do the duty and at the end you brought that person. Well, that's just, that is wrong, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's too far.
They are different things. That's why the film story is the strongest story of all the versions. No matter what you say, that's the best story. Because the films, you have to get it all clumped together. Whereas on radio or in a book, you can ramble around, which is probably why it's funny and it's not more kind of easy, because it allows them to do that. There's one thing I want to mention before we run out of time, which is for me the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy scenario is utterly different from all the other scenarios in science fiction where you go around the galaxy. There are really only 3 types of galactic hopping story. One is the Star Trek novel where it's a militaristic people in a spaceship that go around. Even Stargate, which could have been actually written, it would have been scientists going to investigate rather than people going to have a measure of getting a spaceship or into Star Trek. You have the Star Trek type travel, and Doctor Who, which is kind of possibly random, and the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is just a small band of people travelling around.
He's kind of going around fixing things.
Superhero?
Yeah, he's going around fixing things.
Yeah.
They go around, they kind of, the TARDIS takes them where they don't necessarily want to be, but where they're useful. It's that kind of go around and fix things.
Yeah.
Whereas, I suppose, Hitchhikers and their dwarf are just bumbling around and seeing what happens. They've got no point to them.
Red Dwarf and maybe Babylon 5 being based in space station. But they went off the spaceship, didn't they?
But if I had to put anybody with an arc of them, it would be very difficult. He's not there by choice, he's not there to fix anything, he just wants a curry, he just, just wants a cup of tea. And there's no real point to them being in space other than they happen to be there and they're having to deal with it.
Douglas Adams mentioned in his later books, because they had plots, they required an active protagonist. And all his characters were feckless idiots who didn't get a turn of it.
I think that was the problem that you had when you were writing the cricket man. Not University, the book on that one. It was basically used the script from Doctor Who's script, the cricket man script. And then he realised that to move the plot along, none of the supporting cast he created would do anything that the Doctor would do. And so that's why Slightly Barcast is rather forced into like the hero mode, and Trillian kind of would cheer the heroine mode. Whereas Arthur just wanted to see, or want to go to a party, they just want to go to a party, none of the others would do anything to make the plot finish where we wanted it to finish.
I think we're out of time. So I want to end on a little point, which is to go right back to the inspiration of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It was obviously in this field somewhere in Europe, Hitchhiker's Guide to Europe, and it struck him that it would be really interesting, or that we, as a species, could travel around the galaxy by something quite as simple as hitchhiking. And that is quite wonderful. And we're all quite, well, we enjoyed it.
So, round of applause for David.